Rome, the empire that reshaped the world. But sometimes great empires do not fall to foreign enemies. They fall because of the clash between their own greatest heroes. This is the story of Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great, two friends, two generals, two giants whose rivalry tore Rome apart. 49 BC, Caesar was returning from 8 years of victorious campaigns in Gaul. He had power, experience, and a fiercely loyal army. But the Roman Senate wanted him to surrender his command. And Pompey, once his closest ally, now feared the man he had helped rise. Caesar stood before his soldiers and declared, "We fought for Rome. Now Rome calls us criminals. I will not accept this injustice." And then he crossed the Rubicon, a single step that ignited a civil war across the Republic. Pompey the Great was no ordinary rival. He was Rome's golden hero, the man they called Magnus. Conqueror of the East, commander of mighty fleets, and the most respected general of his generation. Standing before the Senate, Pompey proclaimed, "Caesar has broken the law. To protect Rome is my duty." He believed he was safeguarding the Republic, but he also feared the rising shadow of Caesar. Caesar marched into Rome without a battle. Pompey retreated east to raise a massive army and prepare for the decisive confrontation. One man was fast, bold, ruthless, Caesar. The other commanded numbers, experience, and the seas, Pompey. The clash was inevitable. Their first major confrontation came at Dyrrhachium. Pompey cut off Caesar's supplies. His men were starving, cornered, and desperate. Pompey told his troops, "Today, we give Caesar his first defeat." And he was right. Pompey won the battle, and Caesar was forced to withdraw. But Pompey made a mistake that changed history. He did not pursue. He allowed Caesar to escape. And that single decision would cost him everything. 48 BC. The plains of Pharsalus, a dusty, open battlefield where the fate of Rome would be decided. Pompey's army doubled Caesar's in number. Senators, nobles, and officers believed Pompey's victory was guaranteed. But Caesar stood calm, telling his men, "Stand firm. Today we change history." Caesar placed a hidden, elite unit behind his cavalry, an unpredictable tactic Pompey never expected. When Pompey's cavalry attacked, Caesar's hidden force emerged like lightning, striking Pompey's flank and breaking the line. Panic spread through Pompey's troops. Sand and dust filled the air as soldiers fled. Pompey watched in disbelief as the greatest army of his life collapsed before him. Within hours, he was defeated. Pompey fled to Egypt seeking refuge. But Egypt was ruled by young Pharaoh Ptolemy, whose advisors believed Caesar would reward them for eliminating his rival. They were wrong. On a lonely shore, Pompey the Great, once the most powerful man in the world, was betrayed and murdered before he even stepped onto Egyptian soil. Caesar arrived days later, only to be handed Pompey's severed head. He wept for the man who was once his friend. But now, with Pompey gone, Caesar returned to Rome as its undisputed master. Crowds cheered him, statues rose in his honor, and power gathered in his hands like never before. Yet power in Rome was dangerous. Only 2 years later, the same Senate he sought to lead turned their blades against him. Julius Caesar was assassinated, and Rome fell into chaos once again. This is the story of two giants, friends turned enemies, whose clash decided the fate of Rome forever.